Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Al Munir High School e-learning system. Class 9. This is your physics class. Today our topic and unit is unit number 4. Topic is turning effect of forces. This is your book title. Today we are going to discuss unit number 4. Today our topic is principle of moments. Here we have the two types of moments. One is clockwise movement, other one is anti-clockwise movement. Whenever we use the spanner to open, to loose or to tighten the nut or bolt, we use two types of moments. One is clockwise, another one is anti-clockwise. A force that turns the spanner in the clockwise direction is generally used to tighten a nut. The torque or momentum of a force so produced is called clockwise movement. हम जब भी स्पैनर को यूज़ करते हैं उस पर फोर्स exert करते हैं to turn the spanner clockwise. It means we are going to tighten a nut, and this movement is clockwise movement. On the other hand, whenever we loosen a nut, the force is applied such that it turns the nut in the anti-clockwise direction, and this is called the anti-clockwise movement. Look at this figure 4.13. To tighten nut, it is turned clockwise. To loosen it, it is turned anti-clockwise. A body initially at rest does not rotate. जब बॉडी कोई रेस्ट पे होती है वो रोटेट नहीं कर रही होती, कोई मूवमेंट शो नहीं करती. If the sum of all the clockwise movements acting on it is balanced by the sum of all the anti-clockwise movements acting on it, this is known as the principle of moments. So when all these forces, clockwise and anti-clockwise movements acting on it and acting on a body is equal, it means that it is principle of moments. According to the principle of moments, a body is balanced if the sum of clockwise movements acting on the body is equal to the sum of anti-clockwise movements acting on it. Examples are in figure number 4.14. Children on seesaw is the best example of clockwise and anti-clockwise movements. Next we have the example number 4.4. Here we have a meter rod that is supported at its middle, point O. So point O is the middle of this rod. The block of weight 10 Newton is suspended at the point B. Look at point B. Here we have the weight of 10 Newton, which is 40 centimeter from point O. Find the weight of the other block, block number A, that balances it at point A, which is 25 centimeter from the origin, from the middle point O. So here we have weight 1, weight 2, which is 10 Newton. Weight 1 we have to find it. Moment arm of weight 1 is 25 centimeter. Convert it into meters by dividing 100. Moment of arm weight 2, which is OB, which is 40 centimeter. We also convert it into meters by dividing 100. Applying principle of movements, we have two types of principle of movements: clockwise movement and anti-clockwise movement, which is equal to movement of weight 2 and movement of weight 1. By putting the values, we have to find out the weight 1, the weight of B block, that is OA is 0.25 meters, weight 2 is 10 Newton, and OB is 0.40 meters. So if we divide it, we will get the weight of B, block B, which is 16 Newton. Weight of block suspended at point A is 16 Newtons. Next we have the center of mass. How we can find the center of the mass? Suppose we have two bodies, A and B. A is lighter and B is heavier, and we fix it with some rod between them. It is observed that the center of the mass of system moves at if its entire mass is confined at that point. So here we have a point O in between A and B. A force applied at such a point in the body does not produce any torque in it. The body moves in the direction of net force F without rotating. So here we have the point O. This is the point. Whenever we insert a force at that point, the body will move. The whole body will move in the direction of the force without rotating. So here we have the center of the mass. Next we have the example. Consider a system of two particles A and B connected by a light rod. Let O be a point anywhere between A and B. Look at this figure 4.17. We have point O in between two bodies A and B, such that the force F is applied at point O, and we are applying force at point O. If the system moves in the direction of the force without rotation, रोटेट किए बगैर जिस तरफ हम फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं ये पूरा सिस्टम उस तरफ मूव करता है, देन पॉइंट O इज द सेंटर ऑफ मास ऑफ द सिस्टम. तो हम कह सकते हैं कि ये हमारा सेंटर ऑफ मास ऑफ द सिस्टम है, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट रोटेटिंग, इट इज मूविंग इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द फोर्स. नेक्स्ट, does the system still move without rotation if the force acts elsewhere on it? अगर हम यही फोर्स ऊपर या नीचे कहीं और पॉइंट पे एक्सर्ट करें तो क्या हमारा सिस्टम बगैर रोटेट किए मूव करेगा? नो. लेट द फोर्स बी अप्लाइड नियर द लाइटर पार्टिकल एज शोन इन फिगर 4.18. द सिस्टम मूव्स एज वेल एज रोटेट्स. जब भी हम किसी नए पॉइंट पे फोर्स एक्सर्ट करेंगे तो हमारी ये पूरा सिस्टम मूव भी करेगा और रोटेट भी करेगा. लेट द फोर्स बी अप्लाइड नियर द हैवियर पार्टिकल. अब इसको हैवी पार्टिकल के करीब किसी पॉइंट पे फोर्स अप्लाई करके देखें. देन इन दिस केस ऑल्सो द सिस्टम मूव्स एज वेल एज रोटेट्स. सो इट मीन्स दैट this point which is near to the lighter body and this point which is near to the heavier body is not the center of the mass of the system. So center of mass of a system is such a point where an applied force causes the system to move without rotation. Next we have the center of gravity. What is center of gravity? A point where the whole weight of the body appears to act vertically downward is called center of gravity of a body. Center of gravity of a body, for example, in figure 4.20 we have a body. This whole weight of the body appears to act towards vertically downward. These black points are showing that this body is acting towards vertically downward, and this is called the center of gravity of a whole body, because we assumes that the weight of the whole body lies here. A body is made up of a large number of particles. Earth attracts each of these particles vertically downward. Its center. The pull of the earth acting on a particle is equal to its weight. These forces acting on the particles of a body are almost parallel. The resultant of all these parallel forces is a single force equal to the weight of the body. Now he is telling you about the parallel forces which are acting on this body. The resultant force of all these parallel forces is a single force. तो वो जितनी भी फोर्सेस इस पे लग रही हैं वो एक रिजल्टेंट फोर्स बन जाएगी, एक सिंगल फोर्स बन जाएगी, दैट विल बी इक्वल टू द वेट ऑफ द बॉडी. सो वी कैन से दैट ए पॉइंट, दिस इज द पॉइंट वेयर इज दिस रिजल्टेंट फोर्स एक्ट्स वर्टिकली डाउनवर्ड इज द सेंटर ऑफ द अर्थ. कि ये सेंटर है अर्थ का या किसी भी बॉडी का सेंटर है जहाँ पे उसका पूरा वेट मौजूद है, इज कॉल्ड द सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी ऑफ द बॉडी. This concept is useful when we will go through the problems dealing with equilibrium. Next we have this box. It is showing the center of gravity of systematical objects. For example, we have this rod with two weights, one on the left side, one on the right side, and here we have the center. This is called the center of gravity of this rod. So the center of gravity objects which have symmetrical shapes can be found from their geometry. For example, the center of gravity of a uniform rod lies at a point where it is balanced. So here it is balanced at point G. So it is the center of gravity. Now we will note the center of gravity of other objects of different shapes. For example, we have triangle, rectangle, square, circle, cylinder. All these shapes have their center of gravity. The center of gravity of uniform square, this is the uniform square, or a rectangular sheet is the point of the intersection of its diagonals. So whenever we intersect its diagonals, we will get the center of gravity. The center of gravity of a uniform circular disc, this is the circular disc, and its center is shown in figure 4.22. Similarly, the center of gravity of a solid sphere or hollow sphere is the center of the sphere. Here we have the center. If you look at this triangle sheet is the point of intersection of its medians. इसके medians का point of intersection is telling us the center of gravity. Also in the last, the center of gravity of a uniform solid or hollow cylinder is the middle point on its axis. Here we have the middle point of its two axes. So it is the center of gravity. Can we find the center of gravity of some irregular shaped bodies? Yes, we can find it with the help of an experiment. A simple method to find the center of gravity of a body is by use of plumb line. So here in this experiment we will use the plumb line. What is plumb line? Plumb line is a string which is supported is a metal bob or weight which is supported by a string. When the bob is suspended freely by the string, it rests along the vertical direction due to its weight acting vertically downward, and we can find the center of gravity. Look at this experiment. Here we have the plumb line. Students, this is the plumb line, and this is a string with a weight, and it is called the plumb line. If we have some irregular shaped body, look at this body. This is irregular shape. We have to point 3 points A, B and C. Make holes at point A, B and C, and one by one hang it, and also hang the plumb line. When it comes to rest, draw a line on point A. Then do it same with point B. Hang this cardboard at point B. In the point B hole, also hang the plumb line. When it rests, then draw a straight line along the point B. Then also hang it at point C. Also hang the plumb line and draw a straight line. Where these lines intersect with each other, this will be the point where we have the center of gravity. So we can find the irregular shaped object's center of gravity with this experiment. Take an irregular piece of cardboard, make holes A, B and C near its edge. Fix a nail on a wall to hang it so that the cardboard can swing freely about A. The cardboard will come to rest with its center of gravity just vertically below the nail. Vertical line from A can be located using a plumb line hung from the nail. Mark the lines, and when we will see where it intersects. This is the point where all the lines are intersecting each other. Note that this line also passes through G. It will be found that all the vertical lines from holes A, B and C have a common point. This is the intersection point, the common point G. This common point G is the center of gravity of the cardboard. Next topic, we have the couple. What is couple? A couple is formed by two unlike parallel forces of the same magnitude but not along the same line. Steering wheel is the best example of couple, because here we are exerting two forces, pull and push. These are the unlike parallel forces of same magnitude but not along the same line. When a driver turns a vehicle, जब भी driver कार को या बाइक साइकिल को टर्न करता है, he applies force that produces a torque. वो force apply करता है और वो turning effect पैदा करती है, which is called torque. This torque turns the steering wheel. ये torque steering wheel को turn करता है. These forces act on opposite sides of the steering wheel. और ये steering wheel के opposite sides पे force मौजूद होती है and are equal in magnitude. उसका magnitude equal होता है but opposite in direction. Look at these forces. These are opposite in direction. So these two forces form a couple. Here we have the definition. A double arm spanner is used to open a nut. Equal forces, each of magnitude F, are applied on ends A and B of a spanner in opposite direction as shown in figure. So here we have spanner which have two arms. So because of two arms, this is called a double arm spanner and is used to open a nut. We apply the equal forces of same magnitude but in opposite direction. A is on upward direction, B is on downward direction. These forces form a couple that turns the spanner about point O. The torques produced by both the forces of a couple have the same direction. Thus the total torque produced by the couple will be F into OA. This is our O to A plus F into O to B. So we are applying force O to A and O to B. Here we have the torque of couple F into AB. Equation 4.8 gives the torque produced by a couple of forces F and F separated by distance AB. So students, this is all for today. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.